to keep up. With hundreds of jobs being created, this will serve as a huge local economic boost in Moorhead.
I think it's going to be a win for everybody here, and it's a good, clean, renewable resource that we're using to make a Kentucky traditional material.
Company leaders hope to start on construction in early 2019 and open by 2021. For NewsCenter, Drew Spangler. Moorhead police say they are pursuing charges after they say a district judge was involved with a hit-and-run accident in March. Moorhead police say Judge Willie Roberts was involved in a minor crash on I-64 on March 10th. According to the woman Roberts allegedly hit, he left the scene after she told him she was going to get a police report. A child was also in the vehicle at the time. According to the police, both were taken to the hospital as precaution. Police say that they tracked Roberts' license plate number and found him at his residence. He was not taken to jail directly following the incident. Round County Attorney Cecil Watkins has now turned the case over to special prosecutor outside of Roberts' work area. Clark County Attorney Brian Thomas now handles the case. If convicted, Roberts faces up to 1 year in jail for leaving the scene of his accident.
Round County Kim Davis has asked for her lawsuits to be dismissed following her denial of marriage license to same-sex couples in 2015. According to WKYT, the suits were filed in 2016 and dismissed, but then were reinstated following appeals. Davis' attorney said that they filed 2 new briefs in order to halt the process. In October 2017, U.S. District Judge David Bunning held up his ruling that the state of Kentucky, not Davis and not Round County, is responsible for paying those couples who sued Davis for refusing to issue them marriage license. Davis is now preparing to run for her seat in the clerk's office again later this year.
U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Sonny Perdue made a stop in Moorhead last week to a local lumber yard. Perdue stopped at Harold White Lumber Company as a part of his RV tour in Kentucky, Ohio, and Michigan. During his visit, he talked to representatives of the company to hear what the federal government can do to help the lumber producers. After leaving the plant, he had a private visit to Keeneland in Lexington.
An Owensville man is facing multiple charges after Kentucky State Police say he entered a home with a handgun and threatened to kill everyone in the residence. Troopers arrived at the home Monday night after getting reports of gunshots being fired. The family had tried to prevent the man from entering, but he forced himself inside the home. The suspect was identified as Shane McLaughlin by the family. The family stated that McLaughlin remained at the home for at least an hour before leaving. The troopers found McLaughlin in Round County, and according to the troopers, McLaughlin admitted to firing his weapon, entering the home, drinking and using more methamphetamine than he usually does.
Moorhead State has been all hands on deck this year in the fund drive. Nick Oliver took a look at their past financial challenges, and here's why this drive is more important than any other they've had.
Senators learned something new. I don't know overall.
Things change in a newsroom every day.
Are we taking this to 3335?
But for Moorhead State Public Radio, one lingering topic has remained for the past few years.
It's very challenging. It is very challenging.
That challenge, according to General Manager Paul Hitchcock, is the station's financial future.
Moorhead State is in a very tough spot, as with other state institutions and universities. They have to come up with money, and they have to look at ways to cut back and trim and reduce, and they're looking at everything, which they should, and we are just a part of that.
They were referring to a law in Europe.
In the last 10 years, this station has seen a slash in funding by $500,000, forcing them to go from 8 full-time employees to 4.
Call right now, make a pledge of support if you believe in the things that we do here.
Now, for the first time in years, the station is firing up the phones and hopes to raise $12,000 to keep students working in the newsroom.
We're kind of proving that we can do it on our own. Money is tight all around, and nonprofits like us, they're having to fundraise because their revenue streams, grants and other sources are drying up.
If you could see 20 years down the road, where's the radio station at?
I don't have the answer. I really don't. We continue to morph and evolve, trying to catch up with media and technology as fast as we can, but it's moving at a lightning speed.
But until then, he says they'll keep making calls to keep history and local news on the airwaves. For NewsCenter, I'm Nick Oliver.
Thanks, Nick. And if you would like to donate, you can do so by calling their newsroom at 606-783-2001.
Now for a quick look at weather. What can you tell us about the weather outside, Kyle?
Well, it looks like we're finally getting some warmer weather with highs around 75 degrees today and it looks like a pretty spectacular weekend with highs at 78, clear skies, not a cloud in sight. However, on the following Monday, it's supposed to drop into lows around 40, and we might actually see some flurries on the air, but I don't think there's supposed to be any accumulation or anything of that sort. And then the following Tuesday and Wednesday, it's supposed to warm up a bit, get back into the mid-60s and maybe 70s by the end of the following week.
I'm beyond ready for warm weather. Thanks, Kyle. Stay tuned. NewsCenter has more news after the break.
Are you interested in becoming a service dog? Allows members to get involved with the Service Dog Association. During your membership, you could help future service dogs get used to a public setting and get accustomed to staying on the clock in a home environment. For more information, follow MSU4Paws or email msusda@outlook.com.
Hey, nice shirt. Where'd you get it?
Thanks. I got it at the bookstore. They gave it out to the first 750 students to pick up an online order.
Nice.
And if you wear it to a home game, you get a free soda and a concessions discount.
Sweet. I'll have to go to more games now.
I hope I see you there.
Now to a story that's happening 60 miles down the road at our neighboring university. The Board of Regents at Eastern Kentucky University has suspended several programs after they say they no longer have the funds to support them. The board met on Friday and announced the suspensions of 2 nursing programs, 2 health programs, deaf studies, American Sign Language studies, an art program, and minors in theater, religion, and chemistry, and individualized studies. The university also made the decision to cut the tennis team and marching band. The cuts also include 130 faculty cuts. Students currently in the programs beside marching band and tennis will be grandfathered in, but enrollment for future students in the programs will halt. The cutbacks also include closing the Danville campus and projects around campus. The next fiscal year for EKU begins on July 1st.
Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin signed a pension reform bill Tuesday that makes changes to the state pension system. This pension bill has been receiving objections from teachers all across the state. The bill preserves most benefits for current and retired workers. However, it changes the system for new hires. Bevin also insisted that the bill has nothing in it that is bad for Kentucky. Despite the teachers have opposed the bill and are upset that the bill was passed at the end of the legislature session before being revealed publicity. Kentucky Attorney General Andy Beshear, in response to this, has filed a lawsuit against Bevin and stated that the governor has no right to sign that into law.
Faculty and staff could be heard in front of the library today protesting another cut to higher education. This comes after Governor Matt Bevin signed a new pension bill into law on Tuesday. The bill means that universities are likely to be in for more budget cuts. Under Matt Bevin's current administration, Morehead State University saw a $6 million cut in 2017 fiscal year. There have been no word on yet if the cuts the university could be seeing in the next fiscal year.
Taxes are always a hassle, but a group of students in the business department is making them a simple task for the members of the community at no charge.
With tax season coming to an end, many people are scrambling to file theirs on time at home or with costly tax preparation businesses, but there is an easy, free alternative.
In the invited class of volunteer income tax assistance, we just help people that are under the income requirement and do their taxes for free. We get a lot of elderly people in here. We also get a lot of student and MSU faculty, and it helps them out. We do it every Tuesday for 3 hours, 3:30 to 6, and we've probably done over 100 returns this semester, I would say.
Even as a free service, it is still reliable, as all volunteers must undergo training and pass a test from the IRS for certification, and accounting students here receive class credit for it as well.
Yeah, it's the most hands-on experience you can get. You can learn about taxes in a classroom, but before this, I'd never done any taxes other than my own, and now I feel like I actually have real-world accounting experience.
For NewsCenter, this is Jacob Butler.
The deadline to file taxes is April 17th. However, the business department is no longer offering free assistance.
Students can expect to hear about a new program next semester, but the curriculum will remain the same. Officials announced that this week the government program has begun its transition into a political science program. Officials say the classes will be the same with some varying name changes, but the curriculum-wise, it will be unnoticeable differences. Leaders in the department say calling for a program, political science, better conveys the discipline aspects instead of the government principles that come with the previous name. For full details on the change, students are encouraged to speak with faculty members in the department building in Burke Combs.
The Moorhead Film Challenge came to an end with the viewing and judging of all the films Monday night at the Moorhead Cinema 6. The event saw 6 teams competing for first place as they made films that used a line, prop, name, and genre selected by the judges. First place was awarded to Team Infobesity for their film, and then there was cake. The film, like all films in the challenge, were filmed over the course of the weekend, starting Friday and ending Monday before the event was showcased on the cinema screen. Let's take a quick look at a clip from the first place film.
What's up, man? Oh, hey, man. So, I'm actually having some trouble with my homework. Do you think you could maybe help me out for a second?
Yeah. What's the problem?
So, if 3 birds were flying north and 2 birds were flying south, what time would it be in Detroit?
Show off their strengths in this year's Eagle Warrior weightlifting competition. The competition features different lifting, including a deadlift and a bench press. The winner is decided based off calculations including the competitor's weight and how much they are able to lift. Although registration is already closed, you can watch the action tonight at 7 p.m. at the Recreational Wellness Center. Winner will take home a prize pack along with the title of Moorhead State Official Eagle Warrior.
This past Wednesday, Gateway Homeless Shelter and Hunt Brothers Pizza teamed up for one great reason. Olivia Lee has more on this story.
Nothing gets more attention than pizza, and that's exactly what Gateway Homeless Shelter wanted and received this past Wednesday. Hunt Brothers Pizza and Gateway Homeless Shelter have paired up to raise awareness for the shelter as well as the people in need in the community. JC Mann, a student at MSU and AmeriCorps Vista member at the Gateway Homeless Shelter, shares why she chose to hold this event.
I love pizza. I think everybody loves pizza. The event planning course came to us, and Lauren had the idea. She works with the Hunt Brothers, so she had the idea to sell pizza on campus to raise awareness and also as a fundraiser for our shelter, because a lot of people don't know that Gateway House even exists, and this is actually our 26th year of being in Moorhead, and so we just really wanted to reach out to the college students and get our name out on campus in that way.
After just a couple of hours into the event, Mann says she's surprised by the outcome.
Right now, we're already getting a much bigger crowd than expected. We already ran out of pizza once, so that's kind of, we are, I don't know how much we've made, but 100% of the proceeds are going straight to our organization today, which is awesome and super generous of the Hunt Brothers, and we're really excited about it.
Any type of donations can still be made, says Mann, Monday through Friday during their office hours.
We accept cash, check, and we also accept in-kind donations, which are like hygienic products, food products, and then just kind of an assortment of other things as well.
For NewsCenter, I'm Olivia Leet.
Thanks, Olivia. Donations are always being accepted to Gateway Homeless Shelter and Hunt Brothers Pizza. Stay with us when we get back. Callie joins us for our weather update.
I'm Kyle Blankenbuehler with your weather update. It looks like we're finally seeing some warmer weather with the current conditions at 77 degrees and clear with winds around 17 miles per hour. Record temperatures in 2001, high of 88 degrees, and in 1989, record low of 18 degrees. Normal high for this time of year is 66, and the normal low is 39. Taking a look at the temperature map, as you can see up here in Moorhead, it's an even 77 degrees. Over here in Ashland, it's a little warmer, around 80. Up in Frankfurt, slightly warmer at 78. In Lexington, slightly cooler at 75. And down in London, it's the same at 77 degrees. The live radar courtesy of WKYT, as you can see, it is completely clear. Not a cloud in sight, no rain, no clouds, nothing but sunshine, just beautiful all around. For tonight's forecast, partly cloudy with lows around 45 degrees, but a 0% chance of precipitation, sunset around 8:07. For tomorrow's forecast, mostly sunny with highs around 78 and sunrise around 7:02. For the 7-day forecast, on Friday, very similar to today, but windy and warm. On Saturday, strong storms likely with a 60% chance of rain and scattered thunderstorms. On Sunday, slightly cooler with continuing storms, rain and wind at 70%. On Monday, dropping dramatically, highs around 40 degrees. We might see some flurries possibly earlier in the morning, but there is no chance of accumulation. And then warming up on Tuesday and Wednesday. Coming up next is sports with Olivia.
Moorhead State Baseball had an outstanding performance in the series against UT Martin Thursday and Friday of last week. In Game 1, the Eagles had a late offensive start, but it did not put a stop to them as the runs started rolling in. The Eagles recorded 7 runs in the inning alone, and the end score was 15-5. Moving on to Game 2, as the Eagles had a home run derby spree. Recording 9 runs in the opening period of the game, the Eagles could not be stopped. UT Martin got a very slow start and only a few runs during the entire game, but the Eagles wanted it more, closing the game out with a score of 25-2. As Game 3 approached, the Eagles still on a high road game, out with the bats rolling again with 5 straight runs in the opening inning. As UT Martin's coach was fed up from the umpire's unfair calls, he was thrown out the game and was asked to sit on the bus for the remainder of the game. The Eagles defeated the Skyhawks for the series sweep 18-7. Moorhead Baseball moves to 8-4 for the OVC Conference and 20-13 overall. This upcoming weekend, the Eagles will head to Edwardsville, Illinois for more OVC play to take on the SIUE Cougars for 3-game series. You can watch or listen live at statbroadcast.com. Moving on to softball, the Lady Eagles had more OVC play as they took on a doubleheader last week on Friday, but fell short to Eastern Kentucky. In Game 1, both teams were struggling at the plate to get runs on the board, but the Colonels broke in by getting 3 runs in the top of the 6th inning. The Lady Eagles' bats were still unable to get a spark as the Colonels kept capitalizing on the offensive end, recording 4 more runs in the 8th inning and ended the game 7-0. Moving on to Game 2, the Lady Eagles had a tough start again on the offensive end, but the Colonels took advantage of the late start. Sophomore outfielder Cassie Griffin got her first hit of the season, a 2 RBI single scoring, bringing in Allison Davis and Abigail Rhodes for the first 2 scores for the Lady Eagles. Those scores kept the Eagles from falling to the 8-run mercy rule in the 5th inning. Eastern answered back with an explosive 5 runs in the top of the 6th to evoke the mercy rule in full effect. The Colonels defeated the Lady Eagles 14-2 as they headed home with 2 OVC victories. This week on Wednesday, the Lady Eagles played Marshall University where they split the doubleheader series. In Game 1, the Eagles got an early start with 1 run for the first 2 innings, while the Herd had a late start. As the last inning came, Marshall's first baseman Harold hit a home run to center field to bring in 2 runs, but the Herds fell short 3-2. In Game 2, Marshall got the lead by recording 3 runs in the 2nd inning, while the Lady Eagles could not capitalize. The Herd took the 3-0 victory. Coming up, the Lady Eagles have more OVC conference play as they head to Nashville, Tennessee to take on the Belmont Bruins this upcoming weekend. You can watch or listen live on the OVCDigitalNetwork.com. One of Big Blue Nation's favorite basketball stars is making a stop in Moorhead on Sunday. Point guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander posted on social media this week announcing his stop at Moorhead's Buffalo Wild Wings from 3 to 4:30 p.m. The Sweet 16 basketball player announced his decision to enter the NBA draft a week ago. There is no information on the cost of the event, but an autograph cost is likely for the future professional basketball player. As the men's golf team gets ready for the OVC Championship, senior Blake Cartwright tells us how he has reached so much success in his career at Moorhead State.
My name's Blake Cartwright. I'm from Winchester, Kentucky, and I'm a senior on the men's golf team. I came to Moorhead State because I was recruited by the old coach, which was Rex Cheney, and during my visit and talking with Coach Cheney, he just talked about all the past players that have graduated from here and all the success that they've had after graduation. So that's why I chose to come here. All the guys on the team get along pretty well. At practice, we're always playing games with each other to, try to compete and beat each other. We're, a really close group of guys. I'd say my tips for, freshmen coming in are, just enjoy it while it lasts. Coming in as a freshman, I would say my golf game was I thought I was better than what I actually was, and playing college golf really made me see how I compared with other guys in the country, and saw that I spent a lot of time and effort practicing, getting my game better, and now that I'm a senior, I'm actually been in contention to win a few tournaments.
We'll be right back after the break.
Want to lose weight but don't know where to start? The first step is simple. Get active. Take a stroll from your dorm down to the Fuzzy Duck for about a 1 mile round trip. You can take it a step further and start cooking some healthy food, but walk to IGA instead of driving to Kroger. That's about 1.5 miles. And when you want to reward yourself for making progress, a trip to the movies is a 3-mile round trip. Once walking gets too easy, you can always start jogging. Happy exercising!
FBI agents raided the office of President Trump's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, and on Monday an attempt to find a record indicating payments to 2 women who claimed they had affairs with Trump, as well as information related to silencing of one of the women. The information in question was related to Karen McDougal, a former Playboy model who claimed she had nearly a year-long affair with Trump, but was paid off with $150,000 by American Media Incorporated, whose chief executive has ties to Trump. Information related to Stephanie Clifford, otherwise known as Stormy Daniels, was also being searched for.
President Donald Trump is considering a plan that could allow states to require drug testing for some food stamp recipients. This plan would apply mostly to people who are able-bonded and seeking specialized jobs. The drug testing proposal is meant to help states get more flexibility on implementing federal programs to the poor. An administration official stated that about 5% of participants in supplemental nutrition assistance program could be affected.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg was brought before Congress to testify on the behalf of Facebook's data collection practices. Zuckerberg testified on Capitol Hill multiple times for a total of 10 hours questioning. Zuckerberg has continued to apologize on behalf of this company, saying that Facebook made a big mistake by not understanding its responsibility. Despite the apology, he did not give a straight answer when New Jersey Representative Frank Pallone asked whether or not Facebook will commit to changing its default settings to minimize data collection. Zuckerberg stated that the issue was too complex for a simple answer.
The Kentucky Attorney General's office says one of their own is behind bars after admitting to smoking weed while waiting for her coffee in a McDonald's drive-thru. Frankfort police say Elizabeth Justice was pulled over for not using a turn signal near the McDonald's. Upon investigation, police say they found marijuana and smelled odor in the car. Police say Justice admitted to the officers that she had just finished smoking weed in the McDonald's drive-thru. Justice works as an auditor in the Medicaid fraud office under Attorney General Andy Bashir. She is charged with driving under the influence. The Attorney General's office has suspended Justice while the investigation continues.
Animal shelter workers in Madison County were in for a big surprise on Tuesday after finding out a man left $190,000 behind for the shelter. The shelter director on Madison County Animal Shelter made the announcement on Tuesday. He says the donation was left behind by a late Joseph Bennett. Officials in the shelter say that money will change the lives of current and future animals that come to the shelter. The city has now started an initiative in Bennett's honor to help control the stray population. The city and shelter say they plan to work together to ensure that money is spent in the most responsible way possible.
Now we end tonight with a story that might sound a little nuts at first. A squirrel by the name of Carmel near Batman, Turkey, had its paws surgically removed after his front limbs got caught in a trap. Orthopedist at Istanbul Aydın University built Carmel a set of prosthetic wheels to replace the removed limbs. Carmel is believed to be the first squirrel to be given prosthetic and is currently still adjusting to his new life. According to doctors who operated on him, say that he has recovered to the point that he is now able to feed himself. That's all the news we have for this week. Make sure to tune in next week to keep updated on the latest stories.
As always, thanks for watching and good night.